I dare you to assume that what you want is yours right now. Don't take no for an answer to all of your desires. I want to share with you this amazing success story from this DARED subscriber, and she only found me 2 weeks ago, and she has been learning about manifesting and studying the law for a while, and she made a fast turnaround, and I want to share with you that success story and much more. So stay with me. Welcome. My name is Rose, and welcome to TheRoseyLife, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, you know what to do. Go to RoseyLife.com, or you can join the RoseyLife course and community, where I show up every Wednesday live to answer your questions, and they're all recorded, so you can watch them as many times as you want to. All right, so let's get to this amazing success story, and then I want to tie in a wonderful lesson on and show you what she did and how she turned this around. Okay, so this is the story. Okay, so she says, I found you 2 weeks ago, and I was ready. She says, you said in a video that when you are ready, that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? So I'm not a teacher, like I'm just reminding you guys of what you want, but that's just a quote, right? But she said, she's like, you were right. When you are ready, you'll find me. And she was ready for the DARED, she said. Trying to make things work is what she was doing through prayer, meditation, affirmations, etc. And she says, I get it. She said, I was doing all that. And those are all beautiful and effective things to do. Like, I'll meditate for like 10 seconds. Like, a lot of you have asked me if I meditate every day, and I'm like, yeah, like for a few seconds, maybe a minute, right? Or during, like today in yoga, I took a slower core restore yoga class where you hold a pose for 2 to 3 minutes. And in those 2 minutes that I'm holding the pose, I'm just contemplating on God. Do you see? That's like, I don't have these formalities of how I do anything. I don't have rules. I threw those out the window. I used to, and I'm like, nope, scrap it. So that's what she was doing. So she said, I tried all that. And then she found the DARED. I have been convinced, focusing on what I want. She says, she made a decision she says, no, I have decided that I'm going to focus on what I want. She stopped with all the constant video watching, constant consuming content, and she says, I'm going to focus on what I want. She says, God spoke to her and said, you have everything. And then she found the DARED. Do you see? This is a time and time story I keep seeing and hearing from clients, that when you get like kind of fed up and sick and tired, you're just like, no, this is enough, because I know the truth. And so that's what she did. I have been convinced, focusing on what I want. I decided, love that word. I decided, because that's all we're doing. We're choosing, we're deciding. Do you see? It's not a feeling. It's not an affirmation. It's a pure decision. I decided. Do you see? I decided to ignore all other negative things. In other words, she stopped staring at the unwanted. She stopped looking at the 3D and saying, I don't have it. She stopped trying to figure out how to not react to the 3D. She stopped trying to put all her energy and effort in not reacting to the 3D. She stopped trying to look at what wasn't there. She stopped looking at her negative thoughts. She stopped trying to figure out how to deal with her negative thoughts. She stopped trying to feel how to deal with negative feelings. How do I deal with the 3D things that I don't like? But because the more that you try to figure them out, the more that you're staring at them. Do you see? You just keep staring at the stuff that you don't want. You're trying to figure out how to not react to the 3D, when the 3D it's innocent. It's just showing you what you keep thinking. And then you're trying to fix what you're thinking about instead of going within and changing what you're focusing on. And that's what she did. Do you see? So she says, I decided to ignore all other negative things, the unwanted, believing stubbornly I love you, girl. She says, believing stubbornly that it is my divine right. Do you see? She wasn't mad. She wasn't like yelling at the 3D or yelling at affirmations or being angry. No, she was stubbornly, she says, believing stubbornly that it is my divine right. It's my right. And I made a video about this. I remember it's like it is your divine right to have these things. Do you see? So she says the messages, and now she's talking about the videos. It's like several videos she's watched already. She says the messages of I am, me and God, that are one. She said this message really moved her. So she's been watching several of the DARED videos, and she said the message of I am, and that my Father and I are one, and God and me are one. We're together, right? That really moved her. She said it has revolutionized my life to a higher level in the last 2 weeks. She said, so she went from praying, meditating, affirming, nothing wrong with those. But when you think that that's what you got to do, now you're in the vending machine manifesting game of I just got to push this button, say that word, and ta-da, abracadabra, everything appears. Do you see? Forgetting that those things don't have any power. They don't have any power. It's like you going to the vending machine without any money and you're shaking it, hoping something drops out. Do you see? No. When you stick the coin in, that's your power. I know I keep talking about the vending machine because I kind of feel like that's what has been happening to a lot of people. They're just like, I don't understand. Everybody says that just go to the vending machine, and then you're standing there staring at your desire behind the glass window, and then you shake it because you're mad, forgetting that you got to put the coin in. Right? But what's the coin really? The coin is that you are the power, that you don't even need to do anything, that all that candy is yours, that glass is actually not even there, that all you have to do is reach for it. There's no glass. Do you see? So this is what happened for her in 2 weeks, you guys. In just 2 weeks. And her email was so long with so many beautiful success stories that I couldn't even fit them all on here. Seriously. So I highlighted some of them. She said, first, she said, one, I had a personal back healing. And she said she had a horrible back pain, and she tried twisting, stretching, massages, all this stuff, and nothing was helping her. So she finally said, my health is perfect, head to toe. That was her affirmation. My health is perfect, head to toe. But remember, she was already understanding that I am. God and I are one. And now she's affirming from that perspective. Do you see the difference? Up here, it was trying to make stuff happen. Here, she was like, I am God. And it is stubbornly my birthright to have anything that I want. And she said, my health is perfect, head to toe. And it was gone same day. Same day, you guys. And then she went on to share with me about several family members that had different health issues. And she said she had family healings. And what did she say? What was her affirmation for that? For several people, you guys, she says, I am enough to declare that healing for my family. She said, I am enough. I am enough to declare healing for my family. In other words, she wasn't saying that, she wasn't making them do anything. She wasn't saying that she had to go do something special or extra or visualize each person and hearing the doctor say that they're this, or that they're strong and that nothing was wrong and they didn't find anything. Hell no. That girl did it in one fell swoop. She just declared she says, I'm enough to declare my whole family is in perfect health. And she shared with one of the stories that I think it was a nephew or a son, or it was a little guy. that a child that had that was diagnosed with a broken shoulder, and or something was wrong inside a bone or something, and that they said that they needed to do surgery on him. And they, while she was affirming this, they took him to another doctor, got a second opinion, and the doctor said no, there is no need for surgery. He is fine. They couldn't find a thing wrong with him, and he went back to school the next day as normal. You guys, do you see that? I have a similar story as well. I had been my knee was hurting me, and I had created this like drama in my head that it was going to be something horrible, that I was going to have to all this stuff done to it, surgery, and I was like freaking out, and I can't do yoga anymore and all this. I was like, oh my God, and I didn't want to go to the doctor. I'm like, no, it's perfect, it's perfect. What did I do? I ended up going to the doctor. You know why? Because that's what you do. That's what you do in 3D. Do you see? So that's what you normally do. But before I even went to the doctor, I declared perfect health. And I said, no, I'm not having to do nothing. Nothing's wrong with this knee. I made this all up, but I'm going to go get it checked out anyway. So I went and got it checked out, and I'm like, nope, they're going to tell me everything's fine. And I went to one doctor, and they told me, they're like, yeah, your knee actually is fine, and we can't really figure it out. And so the only thing we can tell you is maybe go get an x-ray just to make sure, because we hear something in there, but it might just be something minor, but we can't tell. There's definitely something going on, but your knee's like fine. And I was like, okay, that 50% what I wanted to hear, because I didn't like that she told me to go get an x-ray. So I went along with the whole game. I went along with the 3D. I went, got the x-ray. I stood in line to the clinic to go get an x-ray. It was a walk-in clinic. And then I got there, and they said, sorry, we can't take you. And I said, why? They said, because your insurance requires you to get a pre-authorization from your your primary care doctor. And I was like, okay. And in my back of my mind, I was like, I don't want to get a freaking x-ray. But I was like going along with the whole 3D thing, right? I was going along with it because I already claimed perfect health. But there's this story playing out that I was playing along with. So I called my doctor, made an appointment. A few days later passed. I do an appointment with her, and she said, what are your symptoms? And I told her, and she said, you don't need an x-ray. She says, your knee's fine. She says, you just need to stretch. She said, you're working out your muscles on your quads and your I can't remember all the muscles right now, but basically, because I lift weights, okay, and I do yoga and I lift weights. It's just, it sounds like you're doing heavy lifting, and you have a tight IT band, and you need to stretch out your some other muscles. Anyway, she says you need to stretch these other things out, and she says, because you're just tightening them up and it's causing pressure on your knee. And I was like, thank you. I was like, I love you so much. And she's like, you're so sweet. And I said, okay. She said, thank you. And I said, thank you so much. She is exactly what I wanted to hear. Do you see all of that fear that I created, that story of fear that got me to the doctor, but inside, I didn't care what they were saying. I still insisted that I am perfect health. And what did I ended up getting? I heard what I wanted to hear. You're fine. So, back to our client story, right? Or the subscriber story. She said, also, in addition to all the family healings, like girls, she's like cleaning house over there. So she said the apartment, so she wanted an apartment. And she'd been wanting a nice apartment at a good price without all the hassles of having to go find one with the real estate, right? So she said, and she'd been looking for 2 months for a place with no luck. One morning, she wakes up and she said, I am getting my apartment with no hassle and a good price. And in that same day, after 2 months, she found it. And you guys, there's more things that she added on that email. In other words, her entire life, she completely moved to a new reality where everything is going her way. Everything was the opposite, but she moved. Why? Let's get to it. Let's do it. Okay, so here's some quotes that I want to talk about because they all perfectly align with the subscriber's success story. All right, so here's the first one by Neville Goddard. There is no limit and I'm going to let you guys screenshot it. I know you guys are ring light. I'm going to try that white cloth. Okay. So there is no limit to the power or belief or to the possibilities of prayer, but you must be brazenly impudent and not take no for an answer. That's what she did. You must be brazenly impudent and not take no for an answer. She's believing stubbornly that it is my divine right. That's exactly what she did, what Neville quoted. She did it. She was brazenly impudent and not take no for an answer. There is no limit, none. There is no limit to the power or belief or to the possibilities of prayer. What is prayer? It's an imaginal act. And he describes this in many other lectures as well. But prayer is going in divine imagination, affirming, assuming, scripting. That's what prayer is you assuming that you are this person that you want to be. It says, but you must be brazenly impudent and not take no for an answer. What you're doing, if you're seeing the 3D opposite, or you're whining and complaining and you're asking how and where is it, that's because you keep taking no for an answer. You keep taking no for an answer. Instead, you go within and you're just like, I don't know what this is, but I get what I want. I don't know what this is. I don't care what this doctor is saying to go get an x-ray. Fine, I'm going to go play along with the story, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. I don't want an x-ray. Do you see? I'm not doing this. So that is what he's talking about, is just like being brazenly impudent with your inner desire, what you claim yourself to be, no matter what. And then Ernest Holmes in Science of the Mind says, dare to speak and know what you say is the law unto the thing spoken. So he's saying dare to speak. It's a similar thing. He's like, dare to speak. So assume, affirm, script, visualize, and know that what you say, affirm, assume, or visualize, or script is the law unto the thing spoken. Wow, do you see? So he's saying dare to assume it, but that what you're saying is the law, because it is. It's the law. It's not just because you're just this childish little want and you're like, yeah, I want that. Where is it? That's not, do you see? He's saying to know that it's the law. You're using the power of the law on what you are saying, what is coming out of your mouth, what you're visualizing, what you're affirming, what you're saying, how with brazen impudence. And then here's one of my all-time favorite quotes by Neville. I have so many. I'm sure you guys all do. But this one just like moves me and gives me chills. So it says, dare to assume. Again, everybody's like, I dare you. Do you see? Go ahead. I dare you. Test it. Play it out. They're not saying that believe me. They're saying I dare you. You guys have played the game of dare, right? I dare you to test this out for yourself, instead of saying it doesn't work. Look at these people. That's a coincidence. That would have happened anyway. Test it for yourself. That's what all of these teachers are saying. Test it out for yourself. But know that what you're saying is the law, not just some flimsy little thing that you're throwing out and you're just like, haha, see, it didn't work. No, he's saying it's the law. So dare to assume that you have your desire. Dare to assume that it is yours. You may feel, and this goes for all of y'all in the back in the peanut gallery, saying that you don't know how and this is impossible. You may feel you do not have the wisdom to find the means to get it, but you do. Wow, do you see? You may not feel like you have the wisdom to find the means to get it, but you do. How? The law. If it takes 1,000 or 10,000 people to play their parts to bring you into the embodiment of what you assumed you have assumed you are, rather, they will play the parts knowingly or unknowingly. What? So in other words, it doesn't matter if you want an ice cream cone. or if you want a mansion, or if you want your body healed, or if you want a person, if you want a doggy, if you want a kitty cat, it doesn't matter. If it takes 1,000 or 10,000 people to bring the proof, the embodiment that your assumption is real, you will get your kitty cat, you will get your ice cream, you will get your house, you will have that healthy body, you will have the assumption. But what is it? Dare to assume that you have your desire. That's your only job. That literally is your only job. And all the other, even if you don't see that you have the means, or you have no way, it's impossible because of where you live or what you have or what happened and blah, 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 and what the doctor said and what that person said. It says dare to assume that you have your desire. And here Ernest Holmes says dare to speak. No, how do you dare to assume? This is how you assume. For all of you, how do I assume? This is how you assume. Dare to speak, or assume, or declare, or tell the story coming out of your mouth or in your mind, and visualize it. Dare to speak and know what you say is the law unto the thing spoken. That's how you assume. You dare to assume that what you're saying is law. It's not a joke. It's the law. And also, I love this too, and this is from a lot of teachers, but I think in this is Science of the Mind. But I kind of like paraphrased it, because he's talking about the difference, because a lot of you guys are like getting your feelings caught up into your to an assumption. Okay, so 3D experience is personal. Okay, your 3D experience of what you want is personal. So in other words, your desire, whatever it is, first you have a feeling, you have a desire, you have a want, whether it's a need for money, need for help, a want, need for a house, you want an ice cream, you want $1 million, whatever it is that you want, need, it's all feeling based. You see that your need, no, it doesn't matter if you justify it because, no, I need it more than they do. No, it doesn't matter if you need or want, it's all feeling. Okay, once you identify what it is that you want, okay, whatever your desire is, whether you think you need it or you want it, okay, because you don't need anything because you have it. But we're going to really make this simple. Once you have identified what you want, whatever your desire is, you're going to have feelings there, because that's a 3D version of you. You're going to feel it. Okay, you're going to feel that you really want this thing. You're going to feel that you really have to have this thing. You really feel the time crunch. You really feel all that. Okay, now you've declared, you've just made it very clear what you want. Okay, that's the 3D you. That's the freedom of your free will to choose whatever you want. And it's going to feel like I want it, all right, or I have to have it, or I have a deadline, or the bills, or the car, or my rent, or the whatever, okay? Once you decide, okay, you see that, all right? Now, when it comes to assuming what they're saying, dare to assume, you skip over here to the law. Remember, the law, you're saying it with the law. So now I understand that what you want, you have feelings for, okay? But now you got to leave those feelings over here in the desire, because when you now turn that law on, okay, now when you go to use the law deliberately, it has no feelings. That's what the law is called. It's impersonal. And I made a video about this in like kind of just like my own analogy of how I assume the law. Once you declare something, okay, you identify something, now you're going to assume it, that it's yours, that I have it. That is not feeling. You don't have to feel it. And a lot of people try to feel it. And you don't have to feel it. In fact, it's impersonal. It doesn't require you to feel it. It's not asking you to feel it. It's not saying, what do you feel? It's not wanting you to attach any feelings. It's factual. It's just factual. The law is the law. And that's why it says, dare to speak and know that what you say is the law unto the thing spoken. He's talking on this side. He's not talking about desire. He's talking about the law, assumption, you assuming something. It doesn't require feelings. And that's exactly what that subscriber did. She was like up here in her feelings, meditating, affirming, and crying, and just like trying really hard and getting frustrated and all that. And she was just like, I can't see any results. But then she was like, no. She says, I'm God. And I don't have to beg. I don't have to plead. I don't have to do all this stuff. She's like, I'm believing stubbornly that this is my divine right. Do you see? She put all of that to a side and said, look at all the affirmations. I am enough to declare total healing for my family. Do you see? That was just like, that's an order. That wasn't feeling anything. She says, my health is perfect, head to toe. That's a declaration. She's saying what is. She's not asking, she's declaring this is what's up. This is happening. Do you see? And she says, I am getting my apartment with no hassle, by the way. No hassle. No, I don't want any hassles. I just want I just want my apartment. Do you see? That's the difference of being personal and getting all emotional. Your desire is going to have emotions, and when it manifests in 3D, you're going to get to experience those lovely emotions with it, right? But when you execute the order, there's no feelings there, and they're not required. Do you see? It's a matter of fact. It is the truth. It is already done, and that's why you can just go ahead and say, yes, that's mine. Do you see the difference? So instead of getting caught up in feeling and trying to feel your assumption and trying to feel what you declared, you back it up with, who are you? I'm God. What can I have? Anything. I have no limit whatsoever. Remember, there is no limit to the power or belief or to the possibilities of imagination, of prayer. But you must be brazenly impudent and not take no for an answer. Do you see? You can kind of get a sense of what she was doing when she was declaring all her desires, right? You can get a sense of it. You can get a sense of it in here with too. Dare to speak and know what you say to the law unto the things spoken. If it takes 1,000 or 10,000 men and you don't have a clue how it's going to happen, doesn't matter. It does, because when you assume something, when you dare to assume that it is yours, it is done. It's been done, it is done, and it will forever be done because it's all yours right now. All right, my loves. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for liking the video, and thank you so much for subscribing to The Rosey Life. I love you guys all so much and appreciate you, and I will see you very soon because you are all so freaking amazing, and I love your success stories, and I love hearing from you guys, and I just appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you real soon. All right, bye.